Hey guys, I'm Richard Fitzgerald. This is Dubai Works, where we interview the business leaders making a difference in this great city.
That business with scalability was very interesting to me.
I like building something that has legacy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Dubai Works Business Podcast. I'm on my own. If you're watching, if you're listening on the audio and the podcast, you will see an interview with the founder and CEO of Glamazle, an e-commerce, a beauty e-commerce platform, Neelam Keswani. It's a brilliant, brilliant interview. I was completely inspired and impressed by her story. E-commerce is not an easy space, but how Neelam learned from 6 years at the Entertainer to set this up, self-funded with her partner in 2015, growing it to over 10,000 products, product lines, 70,000 customers, and how they adapted during the pandemic. They flipped from doing mostly color cosmetics, which I had to be explained what that is, and then also right into skincare products. It's a brilliant story. It's a brilliant Dubai story. Neelam talks to us about how all the different partners and all other companies which you'll know of that she works with along the way. How she was interviewed in her office in Business Bay, and behind her was the stock. They hand pack everything, and that's how they've grown. So it's an amazing story. It's the last one of this year. It's episode, Ali, what have we got? Episode number 93, 94, 93, I think. Yeah, episode number 93. It's been another year of great interviews, met some amazing people, and we're closing out for the year. Enjoy the interview with Neelam Keswani. Morning, Neelam.
Good morning.
Welcome to Dubai Works. Good to have you on.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Great. Yeah, so really interesting to chat to you. I'm not a shopper on Glamazle, but it looks very impressive what you've achieved there. Can you tell a bit about your journey and what the company is?
So I started Glamazle.com because I love makeup. So what you see right behind me is my Candyland. I love coming to offices because I get to try new things and yeah, I just turned my love for makeup and my business acumen, and I put the two together, and I started Glamazle.com. I used to have a lot of my friends and family actually check out my makeup collection, and they used to say, hey, where did you get this from? Where did you get that from? And I started ordering small things for friends and family, and of course I would just do it as a favor for them. And eventually I saw there was such a huge gap in 2013 that I joined hands with a friend of mine, and I actually was working in his business and trying to grow this category in his business. However, that was not his that was not the path that he wanted to follow. So that's when I decided to part ways with that company and start something of my own. And yeah, and I started Glamazle out of my house. It started from my bedroom, and 2 months into the business, it went so crazy that me and my business partner picked up this office, and we moved into this office in Business Bay.
Wow, love it. But all the good stories start like that from a small space, right? Because you can you can really feel into it, and you can feel what the customers want, and you get all those things, the nitty-gritty things right from the start.
Exactly. So just to let you know, I don't have any customers. We've got only 70,000 friends. So I always say this in every single interview or any single forum that I go, that I have 0 customers. I have 70,000 friends, because we've had people who actually, I've got friends who actually send me. Now, these are customers who end up buying stuff, but they also send me things. They send me new things to try on, and they're like, hey, you know what, try this. I think you'll like it. And then you should reach out to the brand and probably bring them here. So, that's why I always tell people that what you really need to do is you should be able to turn your customer into your best friend. And that's how, that's the way I think my success is, because I treat every single customer as my own and as my own good friend, and everyone gets a special service. And that's very important for any business to survive, I feel.
it's just so many things we can talk about, but it's this sort of, Amazon have obviously pioneered and led the way globally on e-commerce, and Jeff Bezos often kind of is quoted as saying that to be obsessed with customer-centric focus.
Yes.
But how can you give 70,000 friends enough time and attention? And how do you manage it? How do you kind of scale that?
So, what I have done is I've actually duplicated this. So, what is very important is that you should be able to duplicate and, train your team to be the same, right? And I learned this from my ex-boss because, it was so funny. I used to work at the Entertainer before this. And if you ever heard any of our pitches, all our pitches used to be the same. It's
This
because
is,
we were all,
this is Donna Benton, yeah?
yes, yes. She's my, I dedicate a lot of my success to her because she actually trained me. I was a web developer and a web designer for her. And
Wow.
I went from there to leaving her 6 years later as a group operations director. I used to head UAE, Oman, Bahrain, and Qatar, and I've learned so much from her. And it's just because she, I used to see her. She used to take me with her for meetings when I initially started in 2002, and and I learned from there. And you won't believe it, all of her clients came to me then, and I used to handle them, and they used to say this, that you guys speak so similar. And that's very important, and I think that's the reason, and that's the success to her business, and that's the success I think is for my business, because I've been able to duplicate this, into my team. And every single team member of mine has been instructed that if a customer calls up, listen to the customer first. If the customer shouts at you, tell the customer to calm down first of all. And what I really want is everyone to be happy. I always say this to every single person: I'm in the business of making everyone happy
Yeah.
because I want to be happy. When I receive a shipment, you should see the excitement. I go crazy. I really go crazy. Every time there's a shipment, I'm the first one to jump on it. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what is in there? And I'll open everything, and that glee, that thing, that sparkle in my eye. And I think that's what I want to see in customers. If a customer comes back saying that, I love it. What you sent to me came perfectly in the perfect shape, in the perfect temperature. That's what you want. That's what you really want from your customer. And that's how, and then they turn into your marketing tool, and they go out and talk about you to 3 different people. And there you go. You've just multiplied your, business 3 times. Plus, you've actually not had a lot of spending to it.
Mm. So you started this in February 2015, and you've
That's
grown
right.
to over 300 brands with 10,000 SKUs,
Yeah.
different things like The Ordinary, Drunk Elephant, Glow Recipe, Elf, Tata Harper, and many more. These aren't brands I'm familiar with, but I'm sure some listeners will get it. Um, and lifetime value of customers, 10,000 euros. These are things that you use to measure the growth of the company.
Yeah.
But Neelam, can I ask, how did you, from a web developer and from someone working with Entertainer, e-commerce is quite difficult. How did you, from the idea to the building the platform to the idea basically from spotting some of the brands that you love that weren't available in the region, but many people can have that feeling, whether it's their, in makeup for you and beauty, but for other people in different things like maybe in ingredients, in food or in sport or brands, but to actually make it happen is the hardest part. So how did you make it happen?
So, I reached out to all the brands. Of course, there were a lot of shutdowns. There were a lot of, sorry, we're not interested. But over time, they started seeing the kind of business we could commit to. I remember when I first brought in a brand, they didn't even ship to the UAE. They did not even know how to ship to the UAE. They actually sent me 4 humongous boxes via post. And I actually set up their FedEx account. I helped them, get out of USA. And we became so strong together that there was a time when we were actually talking to the brand and seeing if we could become a brand of theirs, a franchise of theirs here. However, they had a different way forward, and We still do a lot of their business, for the UAE, and we are the only authorized retailer over here in the UAE. However, what I really, really wanted to do was go out to each single brand and ensure that I get a dollar to dirham pricing, which was very important for me. I know it even backfires sometimes because, it's cheaper than an offline store over here. And then people start thinking, oh, because it's cheap, it's fake. But, that's when I actually sit down with customers. I've had a customer who came to me for a particular brand, which was sold in the stores over here. And the price of this lip set was 175 dirhams offline, and we were selling it for 129. And I told the customer, okay, you know what, let's go to the US website and let's do some calculations. And she's like, okay. I'm like, it's sold for $29. Yeah, you convert it into 3.82, which is a credit card conversion fees. It comes to 110 dirhams. I'm like, I'm still charging you 19 dirhams extra. However, if you are happy to pay me that extra 50 dirhams, I'm happy to take it. I will take it as a tip for myself. And you won't believe it. That customer, her lifetime value today is 28,000 dirhams.
Okay, amazing. So you took the time to explain it. It goes back to what you're saying, giving them the attention. But the lifetime value, is that sort of a multiple? Just to explain, like, how you calculate that. Is that what they've spent or the potential spending power?
No, so this is what they have spent in the last 6 years.
Okay. Oh, so lifetime value is what is up until now what they've spent.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So going back to, you did web development and then you managed a team and operations and things like that. Did you design the website and did you do web development? No.
So my business partner has done that. He is a tech genius. I call him a tech genius because he set up the website in 2 days.
Wow.
So we actually had everything. The reason why we got delayed was because of the payment gateway and the integration of the courier companies and everything. That's what took time. However, we were ready by I remember I spoke to him on the 19th of January, and by the 22nd of January, he had everything ready, everything.
Wow.
And we took, this is 2015. And I know the reason we took so much time was we wanted to make sure our payment gateway and PayPal were connected. And so that's what took time. But yeah, once we started on the 4th of February till 10th, we were a little slow. I don't know what happened on the 10th of February, 2015. We started clocking every day 26 to 50 orders. And by the end of February, we were crossing 100 orders daily.
How did that happen? Was it digital marketing or was it from the search traffic? What was the main driver?
So I remember at those days there was a really famous blogger. She had 60,000 followers, and she reposted about us saying that, hey, you know what, so and so has started her own company and we need to support her. And it just went viral. It just went crazy.
Influencer marketing.
I went to sleep on the 10th of February. I wake up on 11th of February and I see 28 orders. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, what happened here?
Yeah, well, at least when they drove the traffic to your site, everything was working. So credit to getting the tech bit right. Who was the influencer? Give them a shout out.
No, I don't know. I don't feel right, because there's so many other influencers and bloggers who, support us. But yeah, she was amongst the first few. And, she still is one of my customers. Believe it or not, she's such a huge influencer, but she still buys from us. Okay, and she always tells me, I don't want anything free. I'm going to support your business by buying from your business.
That's great to hear. Good influencer story. With the payment and the checkout, how did you choose a gateway back then in 2015? And are you using the same ones or do you keep changing the tech?
So we're using the same ones. We're using paytabs.com. A big shout out to them because I always keep saying that they are fantastic. They're technologically very, very, very out there. And there were not a lot of options. There was either I go with Network International or I go with Paytabs. And the CEO of Paytabs was also a young entrepreneur at that time, Abdulaziz Al-Jauf. He's my best friend. Hey, Jauf, if you're listening to this. And, 6 years down the lane, they're doing fantastic. They've been invested a couple of times. Their technology is changing next year. And they're doing really good. And honestly, I'm the kind of believer, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. If I'm happy with something, why do you want to shake that? Why do you want to change it? Let's just go with it. Let's go with the flow. And I don't think I've faced ever any issue with them. We've not had a single chargeback. We've not had a single fraud hit us. And yeah, so I don't see a reason why I should be changing them to anyone else. We do get approached by everyone, a lot of people, but yeah, I'm very happy. And at those days, because he was young entrepreneur, he was just new. I was his fifth customer, by the way. Glamazle was their fifth customer. And yeah, I don't see why I should be changing them. Even today, I know they're going into a new version and we are facing some glitches, but it's all getting fixed. And day after tomorrow, that's on Saturday, we'll be live with the new payment gateway from them. And yeah, I hope to continue this relationship.
Interesting. Yeah, because there's so many different facets to e-commerce, and we'll talk about the trends in a second. But as well as part of the story, the name Glamazle, how did you come up with that?
Okay, so this is really, really interesting. I am a very, very big fan of Devil Wears Prada, the movie Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
I've watched that movie at least nothing less than 200 times.
No way. Okay.
Okay, so it's my lunch movie. Whenever I'm having lunch, it just gives me that oomph, and it gives me that, thing that I need to like do something. It's my motivation movie.
Yeah.
And over there,
Yeah, it's based on a book as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I've read all the books. I've even read the latest version of, the continuation of Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
And and there's a word that, Anna Hathaway's best friend calls her, and that is, you've become a glamazon. And that means a very tall and a very assertive lady, And I was like, hey, you know what? And that just stuck to me.
Like it, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, what we're aiming for is to make you look glamorous, glamorous and dazzling. So we squashed the two together and made it Glamazle.
Love it. And how do you focus on the customers and your friends, of course, but do you want to build that brand and that name, or are you more focused on making sure that the products and the offering that you have, is it back to that sort of solving the problem of brands that you wanted in the region aren't available, so you're focusing on having as much selection as possible?
Yeah, that's right. So we're trying to bring in brands which are not available, and that's what we pride ourselves on. But the second thing is we also have our own brand. We also have our own brand of lipsticks called Glamberry, which is also a brand. And I do want to develop, and eventually I do want to come up with my own brand of cosmetic range. However, I don't want to go into mainstream cosmetic range. I want to do more of, so we have our super matte liquid lipsticks, and we're working on coming up a few more things. But like I said, I don't want to go into mainstream where I have foundations, concealers, eyeshadow palettes, brush sets, and everything. We did come up with a brush set at the, on our second anniversary, which was a super hit. The brush set was just basically to give away free to customers. It was just, we gave it away to top 25 or top 50 of our customers. And that was it. And I got a few extras to give away, in future as well. And that's where we got the idea that we need to come up with our own line, because that brush set was so appreciated and loved. We decided to come up with our own brand of lipsticks called Glamberry. And that is actually dedicated to all the women in mine and my business partner, Roshan Harif's life, So we've got a shade called Princess, which was my football t-shirt name. And we've got Diva, my niece. We've got Jasmine, Roshan's mom. Ruby, his sister. And, so we've dedicated. And then, the team has got their own lipsticks and their own names. So there's a very dark shade of lipstick, which is dedicated to the one of my operations manager. Her name is Namrata, and her pseudo name is Eleanor. So that's where the lipstick has come from. So that way, so, and the rest of the names are all names of queens, and, it's just making women feel like they're very precious. So we've got Majesty, D Dynasty, Sultana. So it basically, all of them mean queens and princess. That way it is, or diva and everything.
Interesting. So the product thing is obviously something that, e-commerce platforms can do. They can have their own ranges. And you mentioned before you had some sort of physical bricks and mortar places. Do you have stores, or no, it's all online? It's all
All
e-commerce.
online. Yeah, I'm very e-commerce person. I believe online. I honestly, I don't even go to the malls to shop. I know it's
Yeah,
a very wrong thing to say, but yeah, I like shopping. I'm crazy shopper. I love to shop, but I shop online a lot. And yeah, I have a bag coming from somewhere or the other almost every other day.
that's great. Hopefully from your own site as well, maybe sometimes. Maybe. Well, you already have the stock. So just talk it on that point. The 70,000 friends, customers. Which markets are they in? Are you pan Arab or are you mainly in UAE?
So we're mainly UAE. As of 2019, we grew and we went into entire GCC, and then we were available until last year. We were in Dubai, we were in UAE, Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, all the places. That's Kuwait, Saudi. But then because of the political ties, we had to stop Qatar. But what we did was at the start of 2020, we included Northern Africa. So we also shipped to Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, bits of the Central Africa as well. We've gone a little bit higher in the Levant, where we ship to Jordan and to Lebanon as well. And we do have customers who come up and buy, and then we carry this particular brand of shampoo conditioner, which a lot of customers are not able to find across the globe. So they actually order and we ship them to UK as well. But that's a very one-off, and that's just a special delivery that we do for
Okay.
customers.
So you're mainly focused on the region. And where do you stock everything? You mentioned the office in Business Bay. Is that your headquarters
Ah,
here?
it's all here.
Really? Everything? Wow.
Everything sits in this office. So we've got 3 walls covered with a stock. I've
Yeah.
got racks up, and it's all the way, it's got 3 walls, and then we've got a glass wall. And the reason I did this was because, like I said, I want to breathe everything that I saw. I want to know what is here, what is not. And I'm a micromanaging person. I like everything to go right under my nose. So I want to know, I want to be aware of everything that's happening in my business. Even
Yeah.
if we grow from 10 employees to 200 employees, I think I'll always remain like that, where I want to know everything.
So you can know, and then you can manage the kind of packaging, and you can make sure that it's on brand
Exactly.
and everything.
Exactly. So there are a lot of customers who I know, and when it rings a bell to me, when when a customer service person is talking to so and so person, I'm like, oh, say hi to her, or say, and then I'll just quickly write a small note and I'll slip it in. And I think these are the kind of things that really helps, and customers get happy to receive a surprise.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I'll probably pick up something from my stash of things that I have here, the goodies, and I'll just put something and I'll write a note and I'll just send it across.
And again, you can see why they would return. So also then on the shipping part of it, do you partner with someone, or how do you kind of do the delivery?
Oh, I have, believe it or not, I always tell this to my all my courier guys. I'm like, guys, can I tell you something? If I was to start a courier company, it would be super hit, because I've tried and tested so many courier companies. I've worked with nearly 8 different courier companies, and we finalized on 3,
Okay.
and we only work with these 3, and that's it. So one of them is Fetcher. Of course, we've been doing business with Fetcher since day one. One is Elite Airborne, where again I've been doing business with them since day one, and recently we've added ShipHawk, who are doing a phenomenal job. So I'm happy to probably lose one of the others, but ShipHawk is doing fantastic. They're doing a great job. I'm very happy with them.
Amazing. It's very interesting to see, because it's a real nice Dubai e-commerce digital success story, because you have to make all these decisions. You obviously learned from an entrepreneur here. You put together a team. You went through all the different processes, all your selection things. So it's great to hear. Well done. Not finished,
Thank
but well
you.
done. While I'm impressed as well. But on the e-commerce is traditionally associated with scale and raising funds. Is that a route that you went down with Glamazle?
So yes, we are, just to start off with, just to let you know, we're completely self-funded. It's all my money and Roshan's money in here, and until 2020 we had decided not to go for funding, and we thought we'd grow it with our own money. We're a completely profitable company, so I do not think I needed external money. But at the end of 2019, we did speak to a venture capitalist company, and we were going to sign our LOI and our term sheets and everything in March. And I think we got a confirmation from them on the 20th of March, and 25th of March we went to lockdown, and they pulled back saying that, hey, you know what, the first category that's going to get affected in business is going to be your category, because it's luxury. At the end of the day, it's luxury.
Yeah.
The first thing you'll cut off is, probably buying an expensive skincare or expensive serum or something, right? And I was like, okay, I understand that part of it. And honestly, come March, I was also very scared that what if we don't survive this pandemic. But can I tell you,
The opposite happened.
for a lot of people, the pandemic was a pandemic. For me, it was a blessing in disguise, because we were crazy busy.
Yeah.
Crazy busy. We were working twice a week, and we would work from 9 to 2, which was the actual hours you could work as per the government regulations. And we would pack close to 200 to 250 orders. And it was backbreaking. It was insane. But I was impressed. I was impressed with what my team could do, and what, everyone came to work. I had given everyone the opportunity, and I told everyone, it's your decision if you want to come to work or not. But if you do decide to come to work, we will take care of your conveyance. And I made sure no one was taking any kind of
Risk.
my customer service team would use my Kareem account, and they all would come, to work using either Kareem or a taxi. And I was very clear that you don't need to take public transport. You can take a taxi, and we will take care of it. And what we did was, we actually invested in these, and we gave it away to every single customer. So that's a very small pocket size hand sanitizer. And we gave it away to every single customer, no matter what your order value was. We gave it in every single packet to every single customer.
For the podcast, Neelam was holding up a nice little grey packet, which, yeah, cool. Looks really cool. That's a really nice gift. Yeah. So it's that sound. I didn't ask at the start, but it sounds like you managed the pandemic well, and it's refreshing to hear that. It's almost people don't really say that the pandemic was something to take advantage of, but this is what challenges are: not take advantage of, but do well in spite of. And of course, it's terrible what's happening, and it's ongoing, and it's an issue that's affected everyone. But it's great that that lives can go on, and livelihoods, and
yes,
part of well-being and mental health. And it's amazing that you were able to keep going. But so obviously the business did well. Do you have kind of numbers on that? Like, do you know that if it's up or down, or?
Oh, we, right from the start of the year, that's right from January, we were smashing all the targets. But March, April, May, June, okay, I even would say half of July, we actually surpassed our target for the year just between these 4.5 months.
Wow.
So what we had allocated for an annual target, we actually surpassed that just in those 4.5 months. So what we're doing right now is just surplus, and we've already crossed our targets. We've smashed our targets. Everyone has taken their bonuses. So the team is working. They're working. Honestly, from the past 2 days, I've been so lazy. I've barely been coming to work, and even if I come, I'm just just lounging from the sofa to here and doing all that. I'm trying on new skincare, but yeah, I think what the year taught us, or rather, I keep saying this: I'm born here. I've lived here my life. And Dubai has seen a lot of ups and downs, and every time we've come back really, really strong, and I feel 2021 we're going to be stronger. We're going to be more, probably I personally have a very strong feeling that 2021 is going to be a remarkable year for everyone. What 2020 was is just a human correction. I'm very big on humanity and spirituality. And I think it was just a way of telling humans, you need to slow down and you need to rethink and refocus. And I think everybody did that. And I think 2021, people will be more focused and people will have more clear direction. So I think it is going to be a remarkable year.
That's a beautiful way of thing to say on the last day of the year. Very positive. And yeah, it's amazing. But you obviously are a positive person. I'm sure there was more challenges as well. It can't be all as simple as e-commerce is going to do well and people need their makeup at home because they can't get it in a mall. But were there logistic issues? Like, was there stock stuff? Like, international shipping, was there issues that way in March and April?
Well, you know what? Yes, we did face a lot of issues when it came to logistics. More than that, I think the lockdown was making it difficult for deliveries. And so, but like I said, everyone was in this together, right? So if we called up the customer and we told the customer, listen, it's going to take between 2 to 3 extra working days. Yeah, are you okay with it? And they would be completely fine. And 99% of our deliveries went paid. Customers were ready to pay online. They didn't want to do cash and delivery transactions.
Yeah.
They were happy to pay online. And our courier partners did a fantastic job by making sure that they deliver, and it was more contactless delivery. They would leave it they would leave it at the door. They would spray sanitizer on it. They would ring the bell and just walk away. You
Interesting.
know,
Yeah.
so I noticed a lot of courier companies even changed the way they were doing business. And but I have to give a big shout out to the courier guys, and especially the delivery guys. I would say, apart from the doctors and the nurses and the frontliners, they were the second frontliners who did a phenomenal job. They actually put their lives at risk, and they would go door to door delivering and everything. And I've got very high regards for them, and very high regards for courier companies, because they did a phenomenal job. In terms of logistic internationally, I think it wasn't affected much, because we weren't coming to the office. I would get everything delivered to my house. And so yeah, so that was the only part of it. So I had turned a mini office into my house as well. And I would receive stock, and I would check stocks and everything.
Other stuff.
And yeah, and I would get everything up. And yeah, so but we saw a major shift in buying.
And buying, sorry, in terms of what people,
Yeah.
general quantity, but also did you see different behavior types and different demand
Yes,
for products?
yes. So of course, color cosmetics completely took a shutdown. So we sold maybe 1 or 1.5% of our business came from colored cosmetics, and 99% of our business came from skincare. And
Okay.
skincare basically, face washes, concealer, not concealers, face wash, scrubs. What I was really shocked to see is a lot of people buying body scrubs and body baths and body salts and everything. I think it was their way of calming themselves down and probably pampering themselves. Skincare did phenomenal.
And extra hygiene and things like that. But just can you explain what you mean by the color? I probably don't understand, but and what
So
was
color.
the percentage before? Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk from 2019 to 2020. 2019, colored cosmetics is basically makeup. That's your lipsticks and your eyeliners, your foundations, your blushes, and the whole 9 yards when it comes to makeup. That's called colored cosmetics because it's colored and you have to use it. But because of the lockdown, we were not going out a lot, so that took a back seat. And
And
earlier,
how much of your business was that in the last
80%.
Wow, the big shift. And so, but you were lucky you already had the other products as well.
Yes. So, that was our strategy for 2019. We wanted to grow and we wanted to add a lot more skincare. And come to 2020, we were really, really big on skincare. And we did notice that, majority of our business had already started moving and we were doing 50-50. But come March, we saw a massive shift. We went completely on a literally, I would say, zero on colored cosmetics, which is makeup, and more on skincare. And I think it was because kids had already stopped going to school from the first week of March, and moms had that extra 20 minutes or 30 minutes where they could do, an extra routine and skincare routine. Well, hey, you know what? I shouldn't even say this. I did a 30-day face mask challenge where I did a face mask every single day for 30 days.
Why not say it? It's brilliant. I love it. What about, what do you do for marketing and how do you go about that? Is it all performance marketing or do you tell stories like that as well?
So yeah, it was a bit of both, so we did do a lot of, we try to explain, we did a lot of educational videos where we try to explain to customers how things were getting packed, how it was getting shipped, and, all of that. So customers were very safe in terms of very happy in terms of receiving a shipment because they knew it was coming to them fully sanitized and everything. Apart from that, we made sure our stock cycle, and we kept pushing out every restock that happened. So we were restocking nearly 3 times a week, and which was not the case earlier. So we actually increased our ordering cycle. So we went into a 3-phase cycle where it would be ordered in transit. It would be stock in transit, stock ordered, and stock in hand. we did this cycle, and it worked fantastically. The girls, both my buyers were working nearly 24 hours, and they kept making sure they knew their trend, what was selling, what was not, and we had stock of everything that was selling. So we actually never took a cut down, or nobody said that, oh, you're out of stock with this, you're out of stock with that. So we kept that cycle churning very, very fast. And then yeah, I think again, a lot of influencers and a lot of bloggers kept talking about how they received their shipment. We I made sure that we take a video of how everything is packed, so they would see that the team is wearing gloves, they're wearing their face mask, and every time we would pack a shipment, we would spray on it, and then we would put it into the bag, and we would seal the bag, and we would spray on the bag as well, and we would keep them aside for 15 minutes, and then the courier company would come. And then so that's how we did everything.
So people would trust that they've been sanitized and the products are safe.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if you were to, so the referrals and where the traffic comes from and the customers, is there a particular platform that does better for you? Is it Google or Facebook or Instagram?
I think it is Google and Instagram. Especially, we've noticed that every time we do a post for something that's not selling, and every time we do a post or a story about it, we will see sales on that particular product.
Okay.
So so when we start seeing a slight slowdown on a particular brand or a particular product, we will push it out on social media, especially our Instagram. We'll do a story, we'll do a post on it, we'll talk about it, we'll try to get reviews on it and things, and we post it, and we'll start seeing an immediate sales on the item. Another thing that gets us a lot of business is Google Shopping.
Yeah.
So because our SEO is very strong, we have a very strong SEO, and all thanks to Rosh and his team, because they're doing a phenomenal job. And so yeah, we do get a lot of orders from the Google Shopping, and you put in a product name and you'll see us in the first row with the shopping, so you can buy from there. So that generates us a lot of revenue.
Yeah, sounds very smart. So just moving on to a few other things, because I want to talk about e-commerce trends in general. What do you think of the kind of trends of direct to consumer, where it's one product brands and things like that?
So I will stick, and I would say that
Like even
in
subscription elements of like perishable items and that sort of product.
Yeah, of course. Can I tell you something? Grocery is, any grocery business is going to do fantastic. And I think they did fantastic anyways. I saw, a massive growth in, I saw a lot of new players, and I saw a massive growth as well, in, in the e-commerce for grocery items. I remember, I think, was it Deliveroo or was it Zomato? One of them started delivering grocery during the pandemic. So they actually changed their business model and did that. Yeah. And you won't believe it, the website that we usually order our stationery from, okay, they actually changed their way of working. And during the pandemic, they became a grocery website.
Wow.
So you could order grocery from them. And I was so impressed with that, because you need to be able to, pivot as soon as possible. Yeah. And that only happens when you're really small. And I know Noon started daily during the pandemic. So yeah, I'm a very, like I said, I'm very online shopping. I get my groceries online. I do my shopping online. And I even buy my shoes online, my bags, sunglasses, everything. Because I'm from this industry, I want to support the industry. So I do a lot of my shopping online.
But what about the new brands that are emerging in different markets, which you bring in this space, in the beauty space and healthcare and wellness? For example, I was buying vitamins randomly when I go to the pharmacy, and never the same one, and there's a 2-for-1 offer, and yada. It was never consistent, and I didn't know when I run out, and etc. And then I found this one at UK called Heights, and they ship here. It's a little packet, and they replace it, and it's a subscription of 200 dirhams a month or something like that. And it comes every month, and every day I have this exact same one. And obviously there's trends in this, in toothpaste and replenishable or things that you can that you need again. And I can imagine that I will start to do that for skincare. Do you see a demand from customers on that sort of subscription-based products shipping?
So I don't know about subscription-based. It's just that the pandemic I have to tell you, I did write about this on, one of the blogs. And I did say that there was a massive shift shift in buying patterns, it in the sense of not product wise but ingredient wise. If I could get a particular serum which I was paying 800 dirhams, if I could get it for 150 dirhams, I would have made that shift. And I saw a lot of customers doing that. Instead of buying a very high end niacinamide serum, they were happy to replace this high end niacinamide serum with a more affordable brand, because the ingredients were same. So they were ready to do that shift. I think if we've recently added health and vitamins on our website.
Okay.
And I also noticed that it's it's brand affinity. Like, I think only if you know a brand you will go back and pick the same brand. So we sell whey protein, and the brand of whey protein that we sell, my husband doesn't use that. So I once told him, I'm like, why are you buying it from the store when you could buy it from Glamazle, and I can give you a discount. You would get it at, you would get it at cost price. So why would you do that? And he's like, listen, I only like this particular type of whey protein and I'm going to stick to it. I don't want to experiment. So when it comes to vitamins and when it comes to things like these, I think very, very rarely people will experiment. Like,
Yeah.
when I went in and bought the vitamin C effervescence, it was so common during the pandemic. Everyone was having vitamin C's. And I went in and there's a particular brand and I always stuck to that. And they never were on sale. And then there was another brand that was on 2 for 1, but I never ended up buying it because I was like, this works for me. So why should I, go for something else? And I think that's a lot to do with, with such things. I think there's a lot more of less trial and error, and
Yeah.
it's more to do with you want to stick to the brand that you have. However, when it comes to skincare and makeup, you don't mind substituting it with a lower price item because you want to save up and you want to make sure you have enough saved up for the rainy day. So I think that's the only difference between the two. And I think that goes with even your toothpaste or your shampoos and things.
Yeah.
These are things that people don't change very regularly.
Okay. So you have enough on your plate with all the beauty products and the skincare and everything. What about drop shipping and Shopify and this trend? Do you see that as something that complements your business or it's a competitor?
So, Shopify, we don't use Shopify. Shopify is good for people, is good for businesses, small businesses, I feel. Someone like us who has 10,000 plus SKUs and, over 70,000 customers, I would end up paying a lot more to Shopify per transaction than making business. So that's the reason. And I have a developer in-house. Roshan is here and he has 2 more people in his team. And when we can do things in-house, I don't see why one needs Shopify, because Shopify is more a plug and play. So
Hmm.
it's easy for someone who's not a developer and is trying to do for a smaller business, but someone like us who's got so much, we are on Magento.
Hmm.
And and we have a developer in house, so we can do all the things. So
Okay.
yeah, I know everyone is on Shopify, but purely because it's so easy. It's just plug and play. It's just like, it's like creating a Gmail account. You can just go ahead and start and do everything,
Yeah.
so I think that's the thing. About drop shipping, are you talking about RMX kind of a business like shop and ship?
Yeah, and also the opposite to what you do. So basically, you never see the product, last mile delivery. You just do the marketing online, and the product has been shipped from China to someone's house. Like you,
No, so we don't do that. Honestly, I think we are not able to do that. There are a lot of businesses here which have become now fulfillment center with the last mile, but we don't use them is because, like, think about it. If you were going to pack, okay, an item, okay, and just think about it. So it's an eyeliner which comes in 3 different shades and 3 different types. I can give you a very good example. Like Anastasia Beverly Hills has brow products, okay? Now it's a brow pencil called Brow Wiz. It's got a brow gel, which is a liquid. It's got a gel base in a pot, and it's got, which is their new this thing, which is a brow pen. Now, if you were packing this, let me tell you, the customer would end up getting something wrong.
yeah,
That's the reason we don't use fulfillment centers, is because I feel every item is not barcoded, but it has to be particularly the
yeah,
item shades and everything could get a mistake. So
interesting.
that's the reason we pack them ourselves. But it works. You know what? I have a friend who's doing a certain type of business, and it's working for him. It's
Yeah,
really working for him.
it's really interesting because it kind of relates. the choices that you make around technology, which is using some SaaS products like the payment gateway that's there or the Magento, plus building your own and having that direct customer contact and shipping yourself. It seems to, unpacking yourself, it seems to work really well as it complements what you're doing really well. It's just really interesting because other people can find different solutions for what setup they do. So Neelam, we're running out of time. I want to talk more about entrepreneurship and the challenges and the kind of things that you've gone through. You mentioned your previous boss is also a female entrepreneur. How do you see that? Is it difficult to be a female entrepreneur in the tech space?
I don't know, it's, I can see so much of growth, and I think everyone is supporting female entrepreneurs so much. And I only want to tell everyone that, we don't need empowerment, we need inspiration. Don't think that we need help and we need support, we need support. No, what we really need is inspiration. Inspire us, tell us that you're with us, tell us that, I am a very strong believer that women can rule the world. Yeah. And if ever was given me an opportunity, I would make sure every company has female entrepreneurs and it's run by a female entrepreneur. But also that, women also have this, I think the reason why women, entrepreneurs are slightly less visible is because they self-doubt a lot. I think women have this self-doubt. They start doubting themselves. They start, thinking, oh, am I doing this the right way? Will a male boss be able to do this better than a female boss? And I want to tell these women that, listen, you can do it fantastically. If you can give birth to babies and if you can bear children, you can do anything. You can literally run the world. And I am a very strong believer of it. And I also write this, I'm a member at this Facebook group, and I always keep telling women that you will not know you're going to float or drown sitting on the shores. So take the plunge, jump in. And I know for sure human instinct, especially female instinct, will kick in and you will be able to swim through it.
Amazing. I can't think of a better way to end the conversation. Neelam Keswani, founder of Glamazle, thank you so much for sharing. Wishing you a very happy new year. And I'm definitely personally going to follow your story and your company because it's very inspiring.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year to everyone. May the 2021 be as awesome as, we can ever. I would say it should be the best year that everyone has ever seen. Let's start 2021 with a big bang.
Love it. Brilliant. Yeah, we'll all look forward to the year ahead. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the final Dubai Works episode of 2020. I think you'll agree that was a great episode and a great interview to finish on, really inspiring, and how positive Neelam was about the year ahead. The best year ever for humanity, basically, is what we have in store. So a lot to be positive about. If you enjoyed listening to this, there's a lot more of Dubai Works episodes on Smashi.tv. You can subscribe for the year. And of course, you can listen to all the other interviews we do in Arabic on the Smashi Interviews podcast. We have a Smashi daily news show for all the entrepreneurs and the driven dreamers, doers across the region. On top of that, there are two other podcasts I want to mention that we produce. One is the Lovin Daily Show, the Lovin Dubai news show every day, which often has interviews with influencers and things that are happening throughout the city. And for those in Saudi Arabia and who prefer listening to Arabic podcasts, there's also the Lovin Saudi Daily Show. So that's it from us for this year. Happy New Year, everyone. Hey guys, I'm Richard Fitzgerald. This is Dubai Works, where we interview the business leaders making a difference in this great city.
That business with scalability was very interesting to me.
I like building something that has legacy.